Is Christmas a pagan holiday? My Facebook news feed told me that it is. I didn't know that, did you? Hi, I'm Kathy Clapper, a Christ follower, a retired nurse, and a songwriter. You can hear some of my songs on my YouTube channel. I sell a handful of songs on Etsy in my music story shop and give away sheet music on my blog, songsofmyheart.net. I use Facebook to check in with family and friends and share a little bit about myself. Just before Christmas, my news feed told me that Christmas is a pagan holiday. Brace yourself, Christmas is a pagan holiday. Posts are coming and they're still wrong. Is this a thing or an isolated incident? I wanted to know, so I did a Google search. I queried pagan Christian Christmas memes and clicked on images. And here they are. Apparently, lots of people believe that Christmas is a pagan holiday. Have you seen any of these memes? Which ones? Are they convincing? But wait, there's more. My newsfeed told me that Jesus is not the reason for this season. He was most likely born in September, and that mistletoe, pagan fertility ritual, tree decorations, lights and baubles are Roman Saturnalia tradition, gifts, Babylonian tradition, angels, derived from Greek and Assyrian gods, tree, pagan fertility symbol, Yule-log, a symbol of Mithras, god of the sun, and Christmas was dropped wholesale over the Roman Saturnalia festival. I had never heard of the Roman Saturnalia festival. Have you? It's a celebration in honor of the ancient Roman god Saturn. According to online Encyclopedia Britannica, Saturnalia was the most popular of Roman festivals. It was dedicated to the Roman god Saturn and celebrated for 1 week starting December 17th. The date was connected with the winter sowing season. It was the liveliest festival of the year. All work and business were suspended. Slaves were given temporary freedom to say and do what they liked. Certain moral restrictions were eased. The streets were infected with a Mardi Gras madness. A king of the celebration was chosen, and Romans gave gifts of candles, wax models of fruit, and waxen statuettes. Well, as you can see, Saturn's temple lies in ruins. Saturn's been demoted from a god to the 6th planet from the sun. Even so, you could celebrate Saturnalia if you wished. In fact, WikiHow gives step-by-step instructions. Wear the colors of the holiday, green and gold. Decorate your doorways, windows, and stairs with greenery. If you have living trees on your property, hang them with the sun symbol, stars and faces of the sun god Janus. Make cookies in the shape of fertility symbols, suns and moon and stars using green and or gold food colors or sprinkles. Make balsam a drink of wine and honey. Greet people with a traditional cry of Yo, Saturnalia. Invite friends for a feast and party on December 17th. Give small presents of food or sweets or candles or lamps. Light a candle in your shrine to Saturn and decorate your statue of him. Celebrate freedom and destroy hierarchies. Well, no one has ever greeted me with Yo, Saturnalia. And no one has ever invited me to a Saturnalia party on December 17th. But maybe that's because I live where Christmas is celebrated as the birth of Jesus. Maybe celebrating Christmas as the birth of Jesus is not common. Oh, there's a Google search for that. According to worldpopulationreview.com, last year, over 160 countries celebrated December 25th as, quote, the birth of Jesus Christ, end quote. That means billions of people around the world, both Christian and non-Christian, recognize December 25th as, quote, the birth of Jesus Christ, end quote. In some countries, it's an official public holiday. It's been a national holiday in the US since 1870. In other countries, it's a cultural event. Does anyone still celebrate the Saturnalia festival? There's a Google search for that. Here's my query, Saturnalia plus festival plus 2021. And the first page of my query contained links to 2 blogs, Twitter links to a couple music festivals, and a link to a YouTube video advertising a game that came to the Epic Games Store in 2021. And here's the second page of my query. The top links are to the same YouTube video advertisement. And then there was the 2021 Fluff Festival that honored the invention of the marshmallow fluff and some music festivals. Well, I looked at several pages of links and I couldn't find any festivals in honor of the ancient Roman god Saturn. Why do you think I couldn't find any Saturnalia festivals? Was my query off? So if billions of people recognize December 25th as the birth of Jesus Christ, why are pagan Christmas memes popping up in my Facebook newsfeed? Who has the rights to December 25th? Who owns Christmas traditions? Who has the rights to December 25th? Well, Saturnalia was celebrated from December 17th to the 23rd. If I celebrate Jesus' birth on December 25th, am I celebrating Saturnalia? Did you know that on any given day, there may be lots of celebrations? For instance, September 13th. Let's find out what holidays and celebrations fall on September 13th. And here we are, September 13th. Oh, 2021 daily holidays that fall on September 13th include Baldy's Beautiful Day, Fortune Cookie Day, I'm on top of it day. Here's when I like International Chocolate Day, International Programmers Day, Kids Take Over the Kitchen Day, National Boss Employee Exchange Day, National Celiac Awareness Day, National Defy Superstition Day, National Peanut Day, Positive Thinking Day, Roald Dahl Day, Scooby-Doo Day, Snack a Pickle Time, Supernatural Day, Uncle Sam Day. So, if on September 13th we have cake and I blow out candles and my family gives me gifts, which of those observances are we honoring? None of them. We'd be celebrating my birthday. Celebrations often share the same day. What celebrations fall on your birthday? Do you celebrate them? Or do you celebrate your birthday on your birthday? What about Christmas traditions on this meme? Let's look at mistletoe. I have hung mistletoe during the Christmas holidays, hoping to be kissed. Where did the idea that mistletoe is a pagan fertility ritual come from? Did you know there's a website dedicated to mistletoe? Well, the top of the page describes older traditions and legends about mistletoe. Let's scroll down to modern traditions. Here we are. Jewelry, ancient and modern. The tradition that the ancient Druids used mistletoe is well known and usually regarded as factual, despite being based on very little information. We only have the writings of the Romans, mostly Pliny the Elder, to draw on, and these were much exaggerated over the intervening centuries. Indeed, much of what we think we know about the Druids is actually largely based on reinterpretation of them during the 18th and 19th centuries. Well, let's see if we can find the kissing tradition. Oh, here we are. This is a remnant of an ancient fertility tradition, helped along by some reinvention in the 18th and 19th centuries when Druidic ideas were reborn. It may originally have been a rather local custom and not a genuine national tradition, but it became amazingly popular, particularly in Britain and abroad in English-speaking countries. So did you catch that what we think we know about the Druids is actually largely based on reinterpretation of them during the 18th and 19th centuries? And what do you think of the assertion that the mistletoe tradition was reinvented in the 18th and 19th centuries from a local custom? Is the tree a pagan fertility symbol? Do trees have symbolic meaning? What do they symbolize to you? So I asked Google, what do trees symbolize? And I found it depends on the kind of tree you're asking about and the person who's doing the answering. So this was at the top of the search page, quote, "A tree is a symbol of antiquity and immense and enduring strength. A general symbolic meaning of a tree can be interpreted as protection. A widespread symbol of the tree is the tree of life, its body rooted in the earth, and with its crown dancing in the sky. A tree is symbolic of nurturing energies if it is a fruit-bearing tree. Well, there were lots of end quotes. There were links to lots of pages, each page giving a unique take on the symbolism of trees. So here's one page with different tree symbolism. They're all different. Oh, here we are, the fir tree, a symbol of spring and eternal life. As a Christmas tree, it symbolizes Christ and everything related to Christmas. And here we have more trees. Different meanings. Oh, be like a tree, stay grounded, keep growing, know when to let go. So tree decorations, lights and baubles are a Roman Saturnalia tradition. Well, we saw that Romans did decorate trees that grew outside with symbols of their gods. However, researchers say that bringing a tree indoor and decorating it at Christmas originated in Germany with Christians. From theholidaysspot.com, quote, the concept of Christmas tree was first introduced by Germany long back in the 16th century. It was the time when Christians brought adorned Christian tree to their homes. Wouldn't Christmas tree and decorations bedeck the new-looking homes, end quote. From the history of tree decorating at christmasgifts.com, quote, the history of tree decorating as we know it actually began all the way back in the 16th century in Germany. Devout Christians would bring decorated trees into their homes and dance around them during the holiday festivities, end quote. Well, German Christian immigrants brought this tradition with them, but non-German Christians thought it was pagan. So how did this tradition become so popular? History.com says we can blame it on Queen Victoria and her German Prince Albert. Quote, in 1846, the popular royals, Queen Victoria and her German Prince Albert, were sketched in the Illustrated London News standing with their children around a Christmas tree. What was done at court immediately became fashionable, not only in Britain, but with fashion-conscious East Coast American society. The Christmas tree had arrived, end quote. Do you decorate a tree, your house? We decorate a tree. Look closely at our tree and you can see red balls, icicles, candy canes, homemade decorations. We have greenery over the mantle, a red and green blanket and rug, and hanging on the mantle is a fanfare trumpet with a banner. It announces the arrival of the King, of Jesus. And we have several nativity scenes depicting his birth. Are Christmas angels derived from Greek and Assyrian gods? We have accounts of Jesus' birth from historical records that were written within 40 years of Jesus' death. The historical records tell us that an angel of the Lord appeared to a priest as he was on duty in the temple, telling him that his prayers were answered. His aged wife, Elizabeth, would bear a child, and he was to name him John. Now, this was John the Baptist who would prepare his people for Jesus. The accounts tell us that the angel Gabriel was sent by God to the Virgin Mary. He told her that she would bear a child who would reign over the house of Israel forever, and of his kingdom there would be no end. She was to call the child's name Jesus. The historical records tell us that an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream 3 times. The first time telling him to take Mary, who was pregnant, as his wife, because the child she was bearing was conceived by the Holy Spirit, and that the child would fulfill ancient Hebrew prophecy by saving his people from their sins. The second time, the angel of the Lord told Joseph to escape to Egypt because Herod was seeking for the child to destroy him. The third time, the angel of the Lord told Joseph that it was safe to return home as Herod was dead. And then on the night of Jesus' birth, an angel of the Lord appeared to the shepherds taking care of their sheep in the fields, telling them that a Savior, who is Christ the Lord, had been born, and they could find him lying in a manger. Then the sky was filled with a multitude of angels praising God. Well, the Christmas angels are not derived from other gods. They are angels of the Lord, the God of Israel, the creator of heaven and earth. Gifts, Babylonian tradition. We saw that ancient Romans did give gifts during the Saturnalia festival, and the historical account of Jesus' birth includes gift giving. Magi, or wise men, came to Jerusalem from the east, that is, from Babylon. They asked Herod the king, where is he who has been born king of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. Herod asked when the star first appeared. He then sent them on to Bethlehem to find the child. And the star they followed stood over the place where Jesus was. When the Magi found Jesus, they bowed down to worship him. They offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. If we give gifts in the tradition of the Babylonian Magi, how would that make Christmas a pagan holiday? Yule-log, symbol of Mithras, god of the sun. Who is Mithras? According to Wikipedia, he was born of a rock, slaughtered a bull, and shared a banquet with the god Sol. Quote, no written narratives or theology from the religion survive. Limited information can be derived from the inscriptions and brief or passing references in Greek and Latin literature. Interpretation of the physical evidence remains problematic and contested, end quote. According to JustLoveChristmas.com, quote, the Romans from 68 BC burnt a log for their adopted Persian sun god Mithras. The log would burn for 10 nights, so to usher in his strength. But the Yule log is more associated with the Druids and the Norse of Northern Europe, and their celebrations based around the winter solstice. Similar to the Romans, the burning of the Yule log at Yuletide was to help usher in the power of the sun. This was the pagan festival of fire, or Fion's Day, end quote. And Wikipedia, on comparing Mithraism with other belief systems, said this, quote, often stated that Mithras was born on December 25th, but this is unproven. There is no indication that the followers of Mithras were marked on their forehead in the form of a cross, end quote. Anyone here have a fireplace? Do you build a fire at Christmas time? How many days do you let your log burn? What does your log symbolize? Well, we have kept a fire burning in our fireplace for several days in a row. Our furnace went out on the coldest day of the year, and the furnace company couldn't get to our house for several days. We kept a fire going around the clock. Our recirculating fireplace helped to keep the house warm. Why and when did Christians start celebrating Jesus' birth on December 25th? The primitive church did not celebrate Jesus' birth. Instead, each Sunday, they celebrated his resurrection. When did early Christians think Jesus was born? Well, Clement of Alexandria thought November 17th, 3 BC. Other dates suggested were May 20th, April 19th or 20th, or March 25th. From Christianity.com, there is written evidence by 354. The Bishop of Rome was observing December 25th as the date of Christ's birth. 4 major Roman festivals were held in December, including Saturnalia, which celebrated the returning sun god. Some think these were adapted to the Christian celebration of the coming of the Son of God. Don Richardson has a unique understanding of pagan mythologies. He was a missionary to the Sawi people of New Guinea, a tribe of headhunters and cannibals. He discovered that the Sawi people have a mythology that led them to accept Christianity. And when they did that, their tribe was completely revolutionized. What do you think of the idea that there are redemptive analogies in pagan mythologies? Mythologies that can be a stepping stone to accepting Christianity. Recall that the reason that the Apostle Paul was able to share Jesus with philosophers in Athens, and the reason they were willing to hear Paul, was because they had an altar to an unknown God. From the written historical records, we can rule out December as the month of Jesus' birth. Shepherds pastured their sheep from spring until early October. They would not have been in the fields in December. Also, From the historical records, we can determine the month of Jesus' birth based on a technical understanding of when priests took their turn serving in the temple. Zacharias was from the priestly order of Abijah. His order served in the temple during the 10th week of the priestly cycle. According to BibleInfo.com, his week of service started the second Sabbath of the Hebrew month of Sivan, and that month runs approximately from our mid-May to our mid-June. Now, his wife Elizabeth became pregnant after he returned home. She was 6 months pregnant when the newly pregnant Mary came to visit her. Jesus was born 6 months plus 9 months after Zacharias finished his temple duties. That puts Jesus' birth sometime in the Hebrew month of Tishri, which is our September. Based on clues in the book of Revelation, crossexamine.org believes that Jesus was born during a September Jewish celebration. The growing body of evidence seems to suggest that Jesus was born sometime between 6:15 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. on September 11th, 3 BC. While September 11th holds bad memories for individuals in the United States, it would have been a day of celebration in ancient Israel, for it would have been the beginning of the Feast of Trumpets, a feast associated with the Messiah and his return. One understanding of the Christmas star lends support to a September birth. The Christmas star could have been something supernatural, like an angelic being, or something natural, like a meteor, a comet, a nova, or a planet. BethlehemStar.com identifies the Christmas star as the planet Jupiter. The Magi studied the night sky and knew that Jupiter, like all the planets, doesn't travel a straight line through the fixed stars. Periodically, it appears to reverse course and move backward through the stars before resuming its travels. According to BethlehemStar.com, quote, there was a rare triple conjunction of Jupiter, the kingly planet, with Regulus, the kingly star, starting in September of 3 BC. The Magi would have seen the planet of kings dance out a halo above the star of kings, end quote. Bethlehem Star continues. By the following June, Jupiter had finished crowning Regulus. The planet of kings traveled on through the star field toward another spectacular rendezvous, this time with Venus, the mother planet. This conjunction was so close and so bright that it is today displayed in hundreds of planetaria around the world by scientists who may know nothing of Messiah. No one alive had ever seen such a conjunction. So, is there anything Christmassy about December 25th? Yes, according to BethlehemStar.com. On December 25th of 2 BC, as Jupiter entered retrograde, the planet reached full stop in its travel through the fixed stars. Magi, viewing from Jerusalem, would have seen it stopped in the sky above the little town of Bethlehem. So, mistletoe, tree decorations, gifts, angels, tree, Yule log, Saturnalia, September. What do you think? Are any of these accurate? It looks like mistletoe and the Yule log are holdovers from pagan traditions, and Jesus could have been born in September. But what about Christmas traditions that are not on this list? We hung stockings on our mantle, and Santa filled them Christmas Eve. If anything is pagan, wouldn't it be Santa Claus? So Santa Claus, also known as Father Christmas, Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick, Kris Kringle, or simply Santa, is a legendary character originating in Western Christian culture. The modern character of Santa is based on traditions surrounding the historical Saint Nicholas, an early Christian bishop. And the English figure of Father Christmas, the traditional English name for the personification of Christmas, and the Dutch figure, let's see, here we are, Sinterklaas, a legendary figure based on Saint Nicholas. So this tradition arises out of Christianity and Christian saints. Well, what about other traditions that were not on the meme? Turn your radio on the day after Thanksgiving, and what do you hear? Christmas music. Here's a Google search for Christmas songs and carols. And the list goes on and on. From Wikipedia, quote, music associated with Christmas is thought to have its origins in 4th century Rome. By the 13th century, under the influence of Francis of Assisi, the tradition of modern Christmas songs in regional native languages developed. Christmas carols in the English language first appeared in a 1426 work of Johann Audley, an English chaplain, who lists 25 carols of Christmas, end quote. Well, did you know that we still sing 3 16th century Christmas songs? The 12 Days of Christmas, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, and O Christmas Tree? Well, I always get a chuckle out of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, and I'm left in awe when I hear the Hallelujah chorus from Handel's Messiah. What about Christmas carols? The custom started in the UK in 1843 by Sir Henry Cole. He and his friend John Horsley, an artist, designed the first card and sold them for 1 shilling each. The card shows a family celebration in the middle panel. You can see grandparents, parents, and children toasting the season. On the right panel, a woman is putting a cloak on a mother and infant. On the left panel, a man is offering food to a man and child. The first Christmas card pictured Christmas as a time for families to gather, a time of merriment, of joy, and of generosity toward the poor. And then there's the candy cane. The candy cane has its own webpage on candyhistory.net. We learn that the candy cane is a symbol and tradition of Christmas. The original was made over 350 years ago. It was white, straight, and only flavored with sugar. According to legend, in 1670, the choir master at the Cologne Cathedral in Germany bent the canes to appear as shepherd's hooks and gave them to children who attended Christmas ceremonies. The first documented example of the use of candy canes to celebrate Christmas occurred in 1847 when August Imgard, a German-Swedish immigrant from Wooster, Ohio, decorated the Christmas tree with paper ornaments and candy canes. Nativity scenes. The Smithsonian Magazine and NapaInstitute.org agree. The year was 1223. The place was a cave in Gracio, Italy, a small mountainside village overlooking a beautiful valley. Inside the cave was a live ox, donkey, and manger surrounded by hay. This was the setting of the first nativity creche scene, created by St. Francis of Assisi for midnight mass on Christmas. The story is recounted in The Life of St. Francis of Assisi, the biography of the saint's life, written by St. Bonaventure. The Christmas story. Before we open presents on Christmas Eve, our family reads the Christmas story from Matthew or Luke. The Christmas story is told in countless ways. It's told by displays, Christmas creches in yards all over town, including the yard across the street from us, and by dramas, Christmas pageants, some with live animals, others where children tell the Christmas story. It's sung by local and area-wide choirs. There are performances by countless church choirs, including living Christmas tree concerts, where the choir loft is in the shape of a tree. And it's told by area-wide concerts, such as by the Chicagoland Pops Orchestra. It's performed by regional and world-class symphonies. I found ads for live 2021 performances of Handel's Messiah in Paris and London and Sydney and Hong Kong and Lisbon and Tokyo and the Caribbean, in Atlanta, Jacksonville, Grand Rapids, Salt Lake City, Omaha, Charlotte, Columbus, New York, Dallas, Chicago. I found sing-along performances in Boulder, San Francisco, Olympia, Fresno, Minneapolis, Pennsylvania, just to name a few. Perhaps my favorite Christmas story is from the first chapter of John. We live in a dark and dying world, but there's hope. John tells us that Jesus is light and life, and that makes Christmas the most joyful of celebrations. Here's what John wrote. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not that light. He came only as a witness to the light. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or husband's will, but born of God. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. Our Creator became a man. I set John's Christmas story to music.